I thought I was doing the show live, but I wasn't doing the show live. Time. Come out to play.
Slap. If I
Time.
can go dreads, I'll go dreads for this one.
Come
Shout
out
out to
to
Lazarus Bay.
play.
I'm in the bay with it. Yeah. This right here is a slapper. Yeah. Come on. This right here is a slapper. Yeah. Come on. This right here is a slapper. Yeah. This right here is a slapper. Yeah, this beat is my bitch, I'm a pimp. Slapper. I'm in the club tryna fuck something after. Real trap nigga sell a perk to a pass. When I'm done with this hoe, you can have. I'ma find something better. Yeah. And if the pussy good nigga, I'ma tag her. Ain't a nigga in this game that wanna battle. I'm a king on the throne in my castle. She get freaky when I'm out in the capsule. Beat banging like 96. But I never snitch like a 6'9". Nope. Pull up in a 6'4". Going up the motherfucking west side. Crips riding with me like it's 92. New J's on Carolina Blue. Getting to the bag like I'm Uncle Scrooge. Yeah, I've been through a lot and got a lot to prove. This right here is a slapper. 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 This right here is a slapper.
Bustin' the dough like Urkel, nigga smoking purple. Pull off in my whip, screech, huh, Lisa Turtle. Bitch body and banging her, man, she wear a girdle. Put the condom on my dick because the bitch is fertile. Beat slapping like he 40 on it. Got my little Brody on it. All the smoke, you know we want it. LA shit, West Coast, we stay lit. Volume 10, nigga, stay with the pistol grip. 2 chains on my neck, no titty boy. Like a beat out the ring, huh, like my name was Roy Jones. Take that, huh, Sean Combs. And if she ain't fucking, she could catch a Uber home. No dreads, but go dumb with the ball head. Boys got a high success rate like the feds. Throwing a towel, y'all little dogs, bow wow. And I'm a big dog, get you up like Puffy Chow.
This right here is a slapper. 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 This right here is a slapper.
I'm on my shit, I ain't feeling myself. Yeah, I keep a bad bitch on my whole top shelf. Like my nigga said, this right here is a slapper. Look for it in your baby mama favorite rapper. Recipes, fat drop, go stupid, go dumb. I don't give a bitch nothing but hard dick and bubble. From the Bay to LA, all my niggas getting rich. Do the hawk on the horn, just sauce on my bitch. I made it one time. Swing a Benz like a Hyundai, rolling up tree like bonsai. Nigga, what's beef to a small fry? I get on that bitch heels like fungi. Catch me at the side show blowing gas ain't gon' eat paper plates on the tip it tycoon. All my nigga do is sumo. Niggas mad cause they bitch wanna kick it like judo. Coach,
This right here is a slapper.
This right here is a slapper.
This right here is a slapper.
Ow. What's up with it, Chad? I hope you watch the Black and Uncensored show. I'm thinking about, because everybody be missing shows. I don't have no alert button going on because I'm being blackballed and stuff like that. But I was thinking about doing something like possibly doing a regular show in the studio, right, with a camera, so I can concentrate on my comedy. I was thinking about doing that 2 to 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? If I get my financing and anything like that, and I got a little studio. If you saw this little live right here, right? I had a little studio. Let me see. I had a little studio.
Me renting this down.
Think about renting the studio right here.
Do my show.
The green screen, had the stuff in the back.
Live.
You know what I'm saying? Be like the news and stuff like that.
Once,
I'll be doing a
twice,
little comedy
maybe 3
here and
times
stuff.
a week.
Then I can have live performances in the
What do
front
you
like
think?
that, like with my little artist or a comedian or something like that. So I'm thinking about
Go on,
doing
get
this.
everybody
I'm
on
thinking
here.
about so I can have a set
I wish I could go
schedule
on my other channel
every
on my
week,
phone.
Wednesday or Thursday or Friday
Can't
at this
do it.
time. So anybody who
Not on
want to join
phone.
the chat can join the chat and be on both of my channels, and I'll be able to do a more productive thing. And I ain't got to worry about the editing and the stopping in and all that stuff. I can just concentrate on comedy. Then I can show my, then I can be on camera and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about doing this, saying to add a little bit more quality to the show, and a little bit more comedy, because then I can concentrate on just comedy and material, and I ain't got to concentrate on the technical stuff. So I'm thinking about doing it. I'm thinking about doing it. It got a green screen because you know if I want to
Tell
do
me what
stuff in
y'all
the back,
think. Should
right?
I get the studio?
Then
Should
you
I get
got
the studio?
right,
Oh, I got somebody. Somebody done came
right.
in.
Then you got this part right here. If I want
Look, and
people
they
to
got a different part of it.
perform.
Stand-up comedy or something
Oh,
like that.
wait.
To go up in here.
I want people to
If I want to do
perform. They can perform up
some
in
live
there.
stand-up comedy
Right.
or something like that.
But it's time to invest, right? I'm gonna do one show January 6th. I'm gonna do a show in here for the BET Awards on June 6th for the BET Awards. You know what I'm saying? You might want to tune in. I'm gonna send you a link if you want to tune in, if you like music and hip hop and all that stuff. But because you know I'm a host too, so I gotta do other stuff. Anyway, right, let's get into what y'all came for. Y'all done came to hear about me. You came to hear about Joe freaking Biden, right? And the thing about Joe Biden is we all knew he was crazy, right? Every conspiracy, so-called conspiracy theory that we say, everything that we point out is a conspiracy theory, right? They don't try to debunk it. They don't try to add no facts to try to say we wrong, dispute our facts that we present. That's conspiracy theory. Joe Biden with his son, that's conspiracy theory. Right? They stole the election and put Joe Biden in there. That's a conspiracy theory. Right? Joe Biden is sitting now, that's a conspiracy theory. Joe Biden is not mentally fit, that's a conspiracy theory. But you see signs of it all the time. Right? You see, like Donald Trump said, we want to see who has the auto pen. We want to see who was signing them, because you see Donald Trump, he signed this shit on national TV. Give me that, give me this. Right? You always see Joe Biden come out with a bill. I signed the bill, then you see him sometimes go and sign a bill. But he always talking about a bill he signs into law. What? When you do that? Right? We see this like it's so bad that people hate Donald Trump so much that they're willing to look past every single thing. Now, they've been lied to. The media lied to them. The Democrats lied to them. The politicians lied to them. Oh, Joe Biden is running circles around everybody. Oh, Joe Biden, is he wakes up and he meet with all the world leaders and he does this, right? All this stuff behind closed doors they say he do. But when people ask him about the stuff he do in public, right? We don't have no answer for that, but you ought to see him behind closed doors. And they was willing to push this man across the finish line because they knew he wasn't going to make it, and Kamala Harris was going to be eventually president, and that would have been another puppet in the White House. They was willing to push a corpse, somebody was unpopular, somebody that people didn't want, right? Somebody that people didn't vote for. They was willing to do all of that just to beat Donald Trump. And they lost, right? Even the people in the Democratic Party were saying Joe Biden is too old. Every time he got out, he made a stumble. He made a gaffe, right? And people looking past it, that's just Joe. What about Donald Trump? They have no excuse. The only defense they got is, what about Donald Trump? Donald Trump is old. Donald Trump forget shit. Donald Trump did. Donald Trump. No, Donald Trump don't do this shit out of consistent capacity. Everybody misspell words. I'm a comedian, all right? I'm also do YouTube. If you think you're going to be on national TV, right, talking at a prolific rate, right, and a consistent rate, you don't think you're going to make one mistake or two mistakes, right? And I'm not saying Joe Biden can't make mistakes, but they're consistent mistakes. And they're obvious mistakes. They're not like misspelling words or, saying quoting the wrong thing or something like that, right? Or even telling an honest lie. Joe Biden had none of them qualities, right? And you can tell, we can tell he had different mood swings and stuff like that. You can tell this person was dissolving in front of y'all. And then we asked them. They asked him, people think you're too old for running for president? Do you think you're capable of running for president? Just watch me. That's all I want you to do. Just watch me. And we watched them. Right? We saw him. And he got worse and worse over time. Right? But we knew he was crazy. Right? Like look at, for example, remember when they were saying, hey, Joe Biden, you kissing babies too much. He had to go on TV, on national TV, and apologize for him grabbing and touching babies. Right? He knew that it was something wrong with that. He knew that people was complaining about that. He knew that was one of the things that the reasons why they was calling him Creepy Joe. What did he do when he become president? This shit. Right? Nibbling on keep.
I think it's
right? You knew he was senile, right? When you senile, you have mood swings. You have mood swings. You have mental lapses and mental shortcomings and stuff like that. Remember when I knew Joe Biden was crazy when he get the whispering shit? Remember the whispering? Remember the creepy whispering? First, you kiss kids on the back of the neck, rubbing kids on the back of the shoulder. Then you have some old man creepy voice where you whisper. You don't think anything was wrong with a grown-ass man whispering? Something is wrong with that old creepy-ass man whisper.
Time to give ordinary people a tax break. The wealthy are doing fine.
I wrote the bill on the environment. Why would I not be for it?
Unless you make more than $400,000 a year. Your federal taxes aren't going to go up a single penny. And guess what? I did all this without raising anybody's taxes in the middle class. And one other little thing. During this process, I cut the federal budget in 2 years by $1.7 trillion.
People are waiting for relief. I got them $1.9 trillion relief so far. They're going to be getting checks in the mail that are consequential this week for childcare. A lot has been happened already.
When we talked about 28% tax rate,
Ronald Reagan was 28% tax rate.
you know, that wacko liberal guy, you know? The idea that that's an unreasonable amount. But
why do you think it is that you're trailing Trump in all these swing states?
Right. Mood swings, right? He go from whispering, right? And then when he's in the right state of mind and he has some bad news, he get angry, right? Oh, see, now people have mood swings, especially when they mad. They get defensive, right? They become in a sense of denial. Remember when Joe Biden everybody was telling Joe Biden, hey, Joe Biden, you losing in the polls, right? Hey, the polls say you losing all kind of shit, swing states, the border, your sanity, health, everything. What you got to say about that? Oh, the polls are lying. You're reading the wrong polls. Every time Joe Biden got some bad news, he lashed out at reporters. That's mood swings. Donald Trump don't lash out at a reporter. He busts them down. Who do you work for, China? That's enough. Grab the mic. Hey, you sit down. Hey, quiet. He don't go back and forth with no reporter or get angry with him. No, you're reading the wrong polls. Donald Trump is calm, collective, right? Joe Biden is old and senile and aggressive.
Polls.
Because you don't read the polls out. There are 10 polls. 8 of them I'm beating them in those states. 8 of them. You guys only do 2. CNN and New York Times. Check it out. We'll get you a copy of all those polls.
You don't believe you're trailing in battleground states?
No, I don't.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the polls. Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92%.
Read the polls, Jack. He is it now. Read the polls, Jack. Look, he get mad and aggressive. He walk over there. Joe Biden, you losing in the presidential race. They know how to tick Joe Biden off. This nigga cut away from Secret Service and everything. Look, he walking with Secret Service and shit. Joe Biden, you losing in the polls. That nigga cut away immediately. Look at him.
Battleground states?
No, I don't.
Mr. President, what's your
Look,
message to
watch this.
Democrats who don't want you to run again?
Whoa!
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the polls.
Look,
Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats are.
That nigga got up in his face. Read the polls, Zach. I thought Joe was finna swing on that nigga. Look, Joe, that's how you walk up when you're about to swing on a nigga. Read the poll, Jack. Foul!
You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
Would you take President Clinton's place in that? Do you think it places a political liability?
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son.
That's basically where the U.S. is right now.
That's my favorite Joe Biden moment right there of all time. That's my favorite Joe Biden moment ever, right? To me, there was no moment funnier than this, right? There was no moment in time where I liked it Joe Biden better than this, right? What a stupid son of a bitch. I said, look at this. To me, I don't know about y'all. Y'all may have your own funniest moment of Joe Biden, but the stupid son of a bitch is the funniest thing to me ever with Joe Biden. All the stumbling and falling off of bikes. This right here, more inflation than with a stupid son of a bitch. It's the funniest shit.
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son.
That's my favorite one of all time. That was a stupid son of a bitch. That's when. Oh my God, that was so funny.
That's basically where the U.S. is right now.
When I announced it, you all said it's not possible. Come on, give me a break, man.
Mr.
That's a good start.
President Biden, how involved were you in your son's Chinese shakedown text message? Were you sitting there? Were you involved? Were
No,
you involved?
I wasn't, and I don't.
Were you?
No.
No, right? Aggressive, right? When you lose your mental capacity, right? You're imbalanced. Your balance is fucked up, right? You're not capable of walking certain places, you know, certain balances, walking up and down things, you know, with grace, right? You're not able to do these type of things. Joe Biden has been stumbling and fumbling for the last 4 years on everything, but they overlooked that. There's something wrong with his equilibrium. You can't see this man being destroyed in your face. I ain't never in my life saw a nigga fall up some stairs. I done saw niggas fall down. I don't even think that's gravitationally possible that you fall up some motherfucking stairs. Huh? I saw a nigga slide. This nigga slid up. I said, how the fuck did you slide up? This is impossible. Only Joe Biden. Look, this nigga slid up. Look, slid up. How the fuck? Look. The only president ever. Donald Trump walked down some stairs slow. They said this nigga need a whole 25th Amendment. Joe Biden fought up some stairs. The only person ever. I'm not talking about the only president. The only person ever that was recorded falling up some stairs. And they got nothing to say about it.
Do you think that Joe Biden really would have been able to perform as president all the way through January 2029 when he would be 86?
Yes, I thought that back then. I still think that.
You still think that now, right? You still thinking now. They done diagnose this nigga with cancer, right? They done say he's senile. They done got reports about his memory loss. And you still saying, this was Sunday, and you still saying, I still think he can be president. I mean, come on, man. They was talking about if he ran for a second term, they were going to have to wheel him out in a wheelchair. I mean, come on, man. I know you was responsible for getting him in, but come on, man. It got to be some kind of like you know what, I give, or there's got to be some kind of truth telling, right? But you have 4 years of this type of shit. Why is it? Hold on. What's wrong with this thing? Why is it breaking up like this? Oh!
Before we get out here,
right now, you finally got Democrats coming out saying, "Hey, we need to stop lying to the people, right, about this shit. We need to all admit that we was part of a cover up, right? And we to blame for Val Jones coming out saying, hey man, we lied to the people, right? But the people are so Donald Trump hurt and stuff like that, they willing to accept the lie and forgive him for the lie. The biggest cover up in political U.S. history. And they willing to forgive the Democrats because they hate Donald Trump. Let the shoe be on the other foot. Let them somebody was hiding Donald Trump mental capacity, hide Donald Trump physical capacity, right? Hide Donald Trump had internal diseases and stuff like that. It would have been, come on, investigations and all kind of shit. But Joe Biden get hit with this, all this after the presidency. Oh man, the media cover up, the doctor cover up, right? The Democrat cover up. Oh, let's go on. Let's move past this. What? The same motherfuckers that can't move past January 6th is willing to move past the biggest political cover up in politics history. But you will never. But for 6 years you were talking about January 6th. But this shit just happened, and oh man, let's go move past this. This is nothing to talk about. We have a man that has cancer here. How can you use this? Right? Still cover it up. What? Val Jones said we need to tell the truth.
Before we get out here and start trying to tell people why they should like us, we need to look in the mirror, reorganize ourselves, get bad people and bad ideas out of the way, and then we'll be able to come forward in the midterms.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America. Made in America.
Remember, Joe Biden is the only president that had technical difficulties with the teleprompter. We all know because Kamala Harris had the same teleprompter, right? But Joe Biden is the only president that read stuff only off the teleprompter. That showed they didn't have no trust in Joe Biden to do anything by himself. Everything had to be spoon-fed to Joe Biden. We knew he was mentally fucked up when he couldn't do anything by himself. He would refuse to come out and do speeches, right? Think about it. He refused to come out. He done the less speeches of any president in history, but has the most gas, has the most forgetful moments, have the most fuck-ups than any president ever. With the less speeches, with the less press conferences, right? So that let you know they couldn't trust him to come out. During COVID, they didn't let him come out during the presidential run, during his whole presidency, they didn't let him come out. We knew he was a puppet. But the Democrats and the voters didn't want to believe us. But now you do. But you don't want to say nothing. Look at this. Teleprompter Joe.
Made in America.
Do you think he backed off because of that?
No, I'm just saying. I just found it interesting that Biden's being Biden's being extremist. I'm joined by the executive director of the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, Gene Soroka, and Mario Cordono, to accommodate the Russian oligarchs and make sure we take their ill-begotten gains. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other
He the president, he can't even read off a teleprompter. No preparation. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know what the fuck he was saying. They just give it to him. Even if he prepared, he must have forgot because he can't even pronounce the words.
Begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy and the guys who are the kleptocracies. Cisco Systems and Cyber Bastion, a diaspora-owned small business. It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote.
End of quote. End of quote. This is your president reading off of teleprompter because he don't have the brain cells, right, or the mental capacity to hold anything without somebody being his speechwriter, you know, or his word processor or something like that. He cannot hold a simple conversation. He cannot hold a simple speech. He cannot read off a simple teleprompter.
Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and or political or maybe precise.
Right now, we need to apologize to the American people that we were part of something that wasn't on the up and up.
We need to apologize to the American people that we was with something that wasn't on the up and up. Meaning you lied to the people. You lied.
Yield to you now, or do I go on?
You can go on.
I can go on.
Right? You have the only president in history, right, that was being told what to do and asking people, what should I do? Right? Where should I walk? Right? Where should I stand? What? You never heard anybody telling Donald Trump where to go, where to talk, where to stand, or anything like that. You never heard Donald Trump asking anybody, when should I salute? Where should I stand? Never in history. But Joe Biden gets that all the time. Where to sit, where to stand, where to go.
I the American people that we were part of something that wasn't on the up and up.
Do I yield to you now, or do I go on?
You can go on.
I can go on, okay. Alicia. Thank you. Do I sign this order now? I'm going to sign this executive order right now, okay? I have to seek permission to leave. I have to check your notice.
You got to seek permission to leave. Who says that? I have to ask somebody, can I fucking leave? Who says that other than Joe Biden?
Thank you again.
Vice President Biden said something yesterday in Iowa that really caught our ear.
Remember when Joe Biden said he was going to cure cancer? Remember that? If I get into the president and I become president, I'm going to cure cancer. How the fuck you going to cure cancer and you caught cancer? Remember Joe Biden, the moonshine shot. No, I'm going to cure cancer. And all the time this nigga got cancer. Ain't this a bitch?
About the fight against cancer.
I promise you, if I'm elected president, you're going to see the single most important thing that changes America is we're going to cure cancer.
Now, Congressman, I know how personal this is to Joe Biden.
Especially if his son died from cancer. We're going to cure cancer, right? You know cancer running your family, evidently, right? And you didn't get checked for it? You got the best medical staff in the world, and they couldn't catch your cancer.
We know how much energy and time that he has put into fighting cancer with the Biden Cancer Initiative. But with that phrase, we're going to cure cancer, how can he promise that, though?
We're Americans. I don't give a fuck if we was aliens. We couldn't promise no shit like that. We're Americans. We can't promise no shit like that. We're going to cure cancer, right? And all the time, this nigga got cancer. But they hiding, y'all. They hiding the facts.
President Trump marking Biden's 81st birthday by releasing a clean bill of health for himself.
Remember that? Remember, Donald Trump released his clean bill of health. He was telling Joe Biden to do the same. He released his on Joe Biden's birthday. Happy birthday, Joe Biden. Here go my clean bill of health, right? And how you know Joe Biden wasn't physically sick when he couldn't hold a whole sentence every time he coughed, right? Now, I'm going to do a video on all his coughing just in 2023. What about his coughing all through 2022 and 2021 and 2000? We all knew he had a bad cough. That wasn't regular. Every time you talk, you got a bad cough. That's not regular. Donald Trump released his, where was yours, Joe, for that bad cough?
81st birthday by releasing a clean bill of health for himself.
Excuse me.
From his doctor.
How's the president's health?
Yes, excellent. Thanks.
It is? Are you going to come to the briefing room to address us?
excuse me, to rule on a case, are threatened and intimidated, excuse me.
Probably not. Could that change before the end of his term? And how is this mental cognition?
That's like just flat out acknowledging we've been doing everything we can do to keep Biden from being the nominee. And guess what? We tried it in Iraq. It's not working. So now we're going to try, in Iran, excuse me. We tried in Ukraine.
Huh? Well, how's his mental capacity, doctor? Well, the nigga don't know Ukraine from Iraq or Iran, right? Shouldn't that be something that's just sending red flags? The nigga don't know the difference between Ukraine and Iraq? Come on, man. You got to understand this fool was gone. But the doctor covering it up.
Since January 20, and we're talking now about 15 months.
When it was only 5 months. 5 months into COVID, he talking about 15 months ago. He think he a year and a half into his presidency when he only 5 months into his presidency. Remember that? The nigga said 15 months ago when I started being president. He forgot when he was president.
Since January 20, and we're talking now about 15 months ago, the average daily cases are down from 184,000.
Remember, you dealing with a president that couldn't put on a fucking coat, right? He couldn't put on his own coat. You don't think something was physically and mentally wrong with him when he can't even put on his own coat? Look at him. That's sad. That's sad. You got to look.
We end the cancer as we know it.
The former president's physician confirming, quote, President Trump's overall health is excellent.
It never got done. Folks, and I have to admit to you, my focus is, meanwhile, how they're going to pay their monthly bills.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to see there. There's nothing to see. He's coughing up a storm. He's coughing his damn lungs out, but there's nothing to see here.
His physical exams were well within the normal range, and his cognitive exams were exceptional.
It is interesting to note that.
But Joe Biden wasn't. Donald Trump was exceptional. Right? But they said Joe Biden probably had cancer for years, and nobody said nothing.
The normal range, and his cognitive exams were exceptional.
It is interesting to note that President Trump's, President Obama's, and President Bush II, in their most recent physicals, in their terms of office, obviously 2025 for President Trump, did comment on their PSA levels. And so they got screened while in office, and they commented on it. There is not a report of a PSA test on the most recent physical that was read out for President Biden's last year in office.
Transparency. And you know why it wasn't no physical? Because they all knew he was sick.
If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you were saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
And I had a terrible headache.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days.
Beg your pardon. I swallowed wrong.
He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021.
As we work to strengthen our collective response to the climate crisis. For meetings that the president convened last year to the climate crisis.
Look, that nigga had to cover his chest. He probably had it for like, look, that's a hard cough, and you got to cover your chest and your mouth. Right? That's a hard cough. Your chest and your mouth, that means your chest was hurting from all that coughing. Everybody had coughs like that when your chest was burning because you cough, and your chest was like, ah. right? That's some internal shit.
21.
As we work to strengthen our collective response to the climate crisis. Forum meetings that the president convened last year to the climate crisis. Thank you.
Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
Keeping the 1.5 here today signals working full time.
The fact that we just find it at a Gleason 9 is just pretty much unheard of in this day and age of medicine.
Every new bridge you're high.
Most likely, he had prostate cancer for a long time. And I mean, usually it takes from the first diagnosis of prostate cancer to spread would take 5 to 10 years, even in the most aggressive form.
It's you. Folks, please. Real. With an absolute national commitment to end cancer.
Huh? He got an absolute commitment to end cancer. Why they couldn't detect his cancer? Why he talking about ending cancer? He didn't get fully screened for cancer, right? Why the doctors missed that? They couldn't tell him. Look at all the coughing. That is a hell of. His son died from cancer, and he gonna end up dying from cancer. Ain't that a bitch? The thing he fighting for, the thing he getting donation for, right? The thing he so-called say he was gonna cure. Now his son gonna die from it, and evidently he gonna die for it. It's aggressive. It didn't happen in 6 months. It happened in 100 days. This shit is aggressive. It's to the bone. It's spreading.
As we know it today.
That he's known for quite some time, and he was undergoing treatment for prostate cancer.
And I'm going to spend the next 15 months in this office pushing as hard as I can to accomplish this. Because I know there are Democrats and Republicans on the Hill who share our passion to silence this deadly disease. Now, what the hell do you do? If I could be anything, I would have wanted to be the president that ended cancer.
Oh, my God. Oh, MG. If he want to do anything, he want to be the guy, the president that ended cancer and cancer research. He want to be that guy. I want to be that guy to end cancer and cancer research. OMG. I mean, you can't get more. You can't get more cynical than that.
Because it's possible.
There's a high probability.
What the hell are we doing, folks?
The fact that they're
what that said about his wife. What the hell are we doing? What about his wife? Sat back and watched him suffer, right? Sat back and watched him cough and die and didn't ask for, look, check my husband for prostate cancer. Check my husband for his mental capacity. Check my husband for his memory. Hold a brain scan on my husband. She know, oh, Joe Biden is this, Joe Biden. She was the biggest cheerleader, pushing him out there. She was worse than the medical. She was worse than the Democrat because she is wife. She's supposed to see him every day. And you don't see his mental decline? You're not worried about his cancer screenings? You're not worried about his brain scans? Right? You're not worried about if your husband is about to die in the next couple of years? She don't give a fuck. She got her fans. She's going to be running around doing book deals and speeches about her dead president and how she's a victim and how she missed Joe and how Joe was so great and how Joe contributed to the world. And Joe, she's going to be holding him in more. She's going to make millions of dollars talking about Joe Biden, his supposed legacy. She's going to be a cancer this and cancer. She's going to raise millions of dollars when Joe is gone. She don't give a damn about Joe.
high probability.
What the hell are we doing, folks?
The fact that they're now looking at terminal disease, this is terminal. He's gonna be gone in 2 or 3 years.
Congresswoman Blunt Rochester.
He's gonna be gone in 2 or 3 years, right? And they knew it.
Thank you for this celebration today. And to our sailors, Thank you for your service and sacrifice. Thank you for
Wait a
allowing.
minute. Did this nigga just wait, you nasty motherfucker. Did this nigga just blow his nose and wipe his eyes? Look, the nigga blew his nose and wiped his eyes. You come on, man. Come on, Mrs. Joe Biden. You supposed to say something. The nigga blew his nose and wiped his eyes. With the same napkin on national TV? Come, you can't get more senile and sick than this.
For this celebration today.
Blow his nose and wipe
And
his
to
eyes.
our sailors, thank you for your service and sacrifice.
Look at you.
Thank you for allowing me.
Look at this nigga.
Although, to be fair, prostate cancer research is moving so fast, they might come up with something that could extend it out 5 or 7 years where he might die of something else first.
The price of these sanctions is not just
What, pneumonia? You gonna die from pneumonia first? Right? You might die from something else. It's either cancer or pneumonia.
Or 7 years where he might die of something else first.
the price of these sanctions is not just. It's not stopping.
But he has a terminal condition. At presentation, somebody who's getting regular medical management, it doesn't present as metastatic disease. It's just not how it works.
My question is that, excuse me, why?
So somebody is known for quite a while.
She may have made.
The steel on the bridge with the.
Right? They known for a long time. Look at his brain capacity. Remember, Joe Biden is the same president that can't even remember names. He's the same president that don't even remember people's names. He forgot everybody's name in his administration. You mean to tell me his wife or his doctor didn't know nothing was wrong? They didn't want to see a brain scan and things like that where he couldn't remember anybody's name. Nobody.
Javier Baccaria. Javier, Mr. Secretary.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris, but anyway.
I just did Chris.
And I want to thank the former general. I keep calling him general. The guy who runs that outfit over there.
This nigga don't know who Lloyd is or what the Pentagon is. Think about it. You got a president know what it's. Come on, that guy who runs that operation over there. That thing over there.
Calling him general. The guy who runs that outfit over there. I want to make sure we thank the secretary. Jill and I have always enjoyed seeing Pete and Kristen, which I have done personally with the president of China. It was President, my boss. Senator Shelley Caputo.
You may remember, I got in trouble when we were running against the senator who was a Mormon, the governor, okay?
The Instagram.
The senator who was a Mormon, the governor, okay?
The Instagram question answer with one of the leading soccer players in the world. The latest episode of Here's the Deal podcast with Andrew Young brought in. A guy from Illinois who ended up being a great Secretary of Transportation. Secretary of.
Every day, between an hour and a half brief with a former head of our former Surgeon General. Anyway,
Are holding up the nomination of the president put forward for the Supreme Court.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts.
Whether the right time to have this conversation is now or at some point in the future, we really do need to be honest about whether the former president was capable of doing the job. This is not child's play, and we can pray for good health, but also recognize that if you're not in good enough health to do the job, you shouldn't be doing the job.
Remember, he had to be told where to go, right? Joe just wander off places, right? He go places, you don't know where the fuck Joe at. You don't know where the fuck Joe going. You got to reel him back in. Joe, no, over here, Joe. Where the fuck you going? The only president that lost directions multiple times. Look at Poe Joe. Don't know where the fuck you going. Should I go here? Well, the president does this.
Mr. President, thank you.
Mr. President, thank you. What other president does this? Should I go here? The only president had to be guided out of a damn White House lawn by a damn rabbit.
At the end of such a momentous event, the word thank you seems kind of inadequate. But for all the millions whose lives will be saved.
Off. Fuck it.
Are you going back the other way? I want to go.
You can go that way.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
I notice how much freedom.
I notice how much freedom I have. What if I wanted to go that way? Oh, you go that way if you want to, sir. Well, I notice how much freedom I have.
I want to go that way.
You can go that way.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
I notice how much freedom I have.
You can do whatever you want. That's what you tell a kid. You can do whatever you want, baby. Come on, let's go this way. I didn't want to go this way. No, you go this way. You can do whatever you want, sir. Come this way. You can do whatever you want, but you got to come this way. What if I want to go this way? No.
Seems to me entirely inappropriate that at this moment in time, when President Biden is dealing with a serious and aggressive form of cancer.
It's very sad, actually.
We crawl.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, to support. And
I'm surprised that it wasn't, the public wasn't notified a long time ago.
There are Republicans who are peddling conspiracy theories and
It's a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden didn't get properly screened for cancer. It's a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden had cancer for longer than 180 days. It's a conspiracy that his doctor covered it up. It's a conspiracy that the Democrats covered it up. Right? It's a conspiracy that the news media covered it up. Right? All this is a conspiracy. All these leaked tapes and shit coming out now, but everything's still a conspiracy theory. They're looking backwards.
Want us to look backward?
Because to get to stage 9, that's a long time.
At a time when they actually are taking health care away from the American people? No, as House Democrats, we're going to look forward.
The other thing is you have to say, why did it take so long? I mean, this takes a long time. It can take years to get to this level of.
Thank you, BKL, because this shit is obvious. Oh, this is a little bit. I had to stop. I could have put in an hour worth of shit, but I had to cut the video short because there's so much shit about Joe Biden. You can just put in this little clip about his mental capacity.
Of danger. So it's a.
That's not regular. I don't give a fuck who you are. Right? That is how old you are. That is not regular. Don't know. It's plenty of 90 and 80-year-old people in Congress and in the Senate and the House and whatever. They're not coughing and doing this shit. Chuck Grassley, he's not coughing and doing it. Nancy Pelosi, she's not coughing and doing this shit. right? None of them people over the 80 and 70, Donald Trump not coughing and doing this shit. Joe Biden is. Donald Trump is. Come on, man. You can't deny this. It's not regular.
Time can take years to get to this level of danger. So it's a very, very sad situation.
Yeah, that's funny because she wanted the president. How you not going to notice this? How you not going to notice that? Very sad. Very. How you not going to notice? That is very noticeable.
Danger. So it's a very, very sad situation.
Like, come on, man. You can't make this shit up. Something internal was going on with Joe Biden. No one in history ever, I don't know people with mental, what you call that? Like fatal diseases cough like that, pneumonia, and they don't cough like, I mean, they do. Man, this is ridiculous. Who coughs like that? Look at this.
Oh, stupid son of a bitch. Not a joke.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm going to come.
Oh. What a stupid son of a bitch.
That's my favorite Joe Biden part of all times, right? Now, Democrats, you can try to cover it up all you want, right? You hate Donald Trump, you can cover it up all you want, right? And you can say Donald Trump is a criminal, Donald Trump, right? But anytime that a party does this much lying, right, deception and stealing and all that politically, right, and they have the media behind them, right, and they lie to your face, right? They tell you who to vote for. They push whatever candidate they want forward, right? Like Hillary Clinton, right? Like Joe Biden, like Kamala Harris, right? They push all these people forward, and then they lie to you. They lie about Kamala Harris not being Asian. She's black, and you believed it, right? They lied to you about her being intelligent and talking about she went to Howard University, so she overqualified, and you believed it, right? They said she was gonna save the black race and help out black people and do it, and you believed it. You believed it with Joe Biden, right? They had you believe that Donald Trump was a racist. Donald Trump was Hitler. Donald Trump was a criminal. Donald Trump hid money. He cheated in taxes, right? Now you find out they the motherfucker was cheating taxes. The same people prosecuting him getting prosecuted now for the same shit they said he done. But they have way more evidence to say they're guilty. of the shit they claim him to do, right? But they was running around talking all that Donald Trump, this Donald Trump. But when the bitch get hit with it, they ain't say nothing. Oh, she's scared. She should go to jail because she'll run up. I'm gonna get Trump. I'm gonna do it. But she's doing the same thing. She's talking about she's married to her father. Donald Trump ain't never said he was married to his dead mama to get some property and sign his name on the dotted line. They're talking about this is a witch hunt and this racist. Donald Trump didn't make you sign that. But it's nothing to see here. They hold Joe Biden back doing speeches, doing debates, right? In the first presidency, talking about cancer and COVID and all this old shit, right? You have the president that lied about his graduation, what school he went to, the class he was in, the graduation projectile he was in, right? His civil rights, called Obama the first clean cut black man he ever saw, held a eulogy for a KKK member, right? Was the king and the author of the 3 strike laws, had the most racist comments that's quoted in any other politician, including his mentor, Mr. Byrd, or Strom Thurmond, which was his mentors, right? The same person got up here talking about he's going to kill COVID, right? The same person that was going to cut, talk about transgender schools and shit like that was going to cut lunch, federal funding for school lunches. But there's always nothing to see here. And they hate Donald Trump so much. Who you gonna hate when Donald Trump is gone? Y'all concentrating on Donald Trump so much, y'all not even worried about the next motherfucker the Republicans is grooming to become president. All y'all hate is going towards Donald Trump. So when whoever run for president in 2028, y'all gonna have to try to recreate y'all hate against whoever run for president. And y'all don't have no direction to go because y'all know who the fuck it is. Because we got so many people. In other words, and on the other hand, y'all have nobody when we have a lot. You have nobody to push your agenda. You have nobody to be the head of your party, the face of your party, none of that. We have plenty of them. And look at all the generations coming up, the people that's turning 18, and they're voting Republican. The Democratic Party is not the party of the populace no more. They're not. When you have 85 to 90% of all the rich and elite and the millionaires and the billionaires voting for you at an 80%, you can't say you're looking out for the broken and all this old shit when 80% of your party is elite. Right? They control everything. They elite. I'm talking about not 80% of your party, but 80% of the millionaire is from your party. And all the rest, and 90% of the motherfuckers is broke. They the struggling people on welfare and on the system and Medicare and all that other shit. That's the majority of the party. But the people at the top control everything. Who you vote for, who runs, who don't run, who they get the money to, donors. They control all that shit. Right? But this is one of the biggest political cover-up in political history. And they try to make it seem like it's minor. Oh, it's not that big. Let's look forward. Let's look past. Oh, he's going through something medically. Leave him alone. Why you want to bother him when he's going through cancer? Now everything you're going to be said against Joe Biden is going to have to say with sympathy because he's going through something right now. He's about to die. So don't talk about Joe Biden like that. Leave his administration alone. Why are you going to talk that about a dying man like that? So the Joe Biden conversation is now taken off the table. All this mental, oh, Joe Biden was going through stuff. No wonder he was going through that mental stuff. He was losing his stuff. Well, some people say it was because of the medication he was taking. Right? Some people say that it was because of the medication he's taking. That's why he was losing memory and all that shit. But the Democrats say, no. He's not like that behind closed doors. When y'all can't see him. Only when y'all can see me like that. Behind the closed doors, he's a motherfucking genius. Right? He'll talk your ass off. No mistakes, no blunders, no forgetting nothing. Right? And think about that. If he was this way in public, how bad was he in private? No wonder he couldn't talk to Putin in no meeting or talk to Ukraine about no peace treaty. No wonder he couldn't meet with these national leaders and tell Saudi Arabia and countries like that, well, we want to start over with you and read. No wonder he couldn't cut no deals. He wasn't capable of having these meetings. These private meetings with Putin and Zelensky and these world leaders and the Taliban, he wasn't capable of them. No wonder you never heard of him having a conversation. You never heard Joe Biden really have a conversation with nobody that was in opposition of our country. It's always a Canada or somebody, well, he's a United Nations, he's this, he's our friend. It's always that. It's never no motherfucker like who the country don't like. Like when Canada came over here and Donald Trump said, we don't need your shit. It's never them type of meetings. Never meeting about, well, let's end this shit. Let's end this war. People are dying. No, it's Joe Biden as long as it takes. And you voted for this shit. But I'm up out of here. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. You know what I'm saying? I just want to shed light on a little bit on this medical shit, right? We been new. You can't cough this much and don't nobody know. You can't go to this many mental labs and physical labs and don't nobody know. Right? The media covered up. Now they're getting money to talk about the cover up. We cover it up, but now we're going to get the money. We got the money to cover the shit up. Now we're going to get the money to talk about how we covered the shit up. And how everybody is at fault, including me. Now they want to take responsibility. I should have dug deeper. I should have done that. Come on, man. If motherfuckers on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok was saying it, how come you wasn't saying it and investigating it? How come we knew and you didn't? That's impossible for me to know, and I'm just a YouTuber with limited information, and you got access to the White House and information and access that I would never have. How did I know and you didn't? How come I don't have to apologize for Joe Biden not being insane or Joe Biden not being sick, and you do? I didn't have to apologize for my cover-up of Joe Biden. I didn't have to apologize for my facts of Joe Biden. Doing COVID, you take this shot, and you won't have to wear a mask. You take this shot, you can go here. You won't catch this. You take this shot, you won't die. Right? But when I was saying it was all a lie. How come I've been proven to be right every single time I talked about Joe, and you're proven to be wrong? It may take time. And then when you prove that, when it's proven that you're wrong, you don't admit it. You shift the blame on Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump lie all the time. Well, Donald Trump cover up the Donald Trump. Well, we're not talking about Donald Trump. That's not the political biggest policy. And ain't nobody going to cover up for Donald Trump like they cover up for Joe Biden. Nobody. People hate Donald Trump, even in the Republican Party. You fell for it. Yep, Jake Tapper covered up for low. Jake Tapper was one of the biggest cover. I'm gonna write a book about it now. I covered this shit up. Oh, he's great. He's this. He had a little questions, but he covered it up for the longest. Now I'm gonna write a book about the cover up. Now everybody want to come out with a book about the cover up. The same shit they created, right? They want to come out with a book about it. That's like starting a fire and trying to get credit for putting the motherfucker out. Yeah, I put out the fire. I should get an award for rescuing them people that I started. Ain't that a bitch? Let me get up out of here, man. This shit is ridiculous, man. This shit is ridiculous. You've been lied to and you accept that shit. Shame on you. I'm out. Till next show.